Welcome to Wine Dine Caroline's Happy Hour on Paris Underground Radio. I'm your host, Carolyn Connor. Welcome, Kristin. Thank you so much for being on Wine Dine Caroline's Happy Hour. Before, maybe we'll start that over. I just want to make sure I'm saying your last name right.
Kruk.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
I know. I'm like, Kruk. I was just in Croatia, so I'm like, all of the like Slavic, kind of like Baltic Slavic words with all of the consonants. Pretty funny. There's an island called Kirk, K-R-K.
Oh, there you go.
A grape called Gurk. G-R-K is a white grape. So that makes me laugh.
Well, yeah, I mean, your other pronunciation is actually more of the Polish pronunciation, but living here in America, I don't expect people to go Kruk. But I mean, I guess living in Chicago could justify me making people pronounce it right. But I'm like the most Americanized Polish, first generation Polish person. So I just go with Kruk.
I mean, I'm like, I don't know. My names are funny because my name is spelled Caroline. This is Wine Dine Caroline, right? But my parents call me Carolyn. You know, So like the pronunciation was never right. Like the spelling was right. And then I moved to England and everyone called me Caroline. And I corrected them at first. And then I was like, oh God, I can't care about this at all. And now I'm Caroline here. So it doesn't matter at all.
So many identity crises.
I know, exactly. And then my last name, Connor, in French sounds very similar to asshole. So Connor is asshole. Connor. So that's a little too accurate and troubling. But welcome, Kristin Kruk, and thank you for being on the podcast. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Where do you live? How do we know each other? Let's get that fun stuff out of the way.
All right. Well, hello, listeners. My name is Kristin, as Caroline just introduced me as, and I live in Chicago with Carolyn's cousin, actually, Alex. He is my boyfriend. So yeah, we met through my boyfriend's family at one of the epic Connor get-togethers. I gotta say, the Connor family is like polar opposite of my family. We're like so quiet when we, get together. Like we just eat silently and like catch up a little bit. And then the Connor family get-togethers are so much fun. There's like drinking all day, so much good food, so many people to meet. So
there's a lot of us.
Yeah. So we met through when you came over to the States to see family. And yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a few years now. I mean, you've been in, obviously in the family for a few years now. And yeah, our family is the best. We have a lot of fun. And you actually you have a podcast that I know you're not doing anymore, but that listeners can still find, the I Tried It podcast, which was a really fun project. And it was actually the first podcast I was ever on. So I really appreciated you having me on to talk about my experience talking to God under the influence of psychedelics. So that's a story for another day, or you could go listen to it in Kristin's I Tried It podcast. I'll put the link in the show notes.
For sure. Yeah, that was a really fun episode. I told a lot of people to go listen to that whenever they've asked about ayahuasca. I'm like, well, I got the full story about what you could experience, and it was very entertaining.
I'm actually going to Spain at the end of this month. So we're recording this in the beginning of September. So by the time it airs, I will have already done this. But I'm going to Spain to do a women's retreat where we're going to trip balls, and it's going to be great. So
oh my God.
It might not be, I know it's not for everyone. People are surprised because I'm very like preppy, like I'm a little bit glam and like preppy. And people are like, wow, you're weird. You are into some crazy shit. But I mean, when you're away,
you're multifaceted.
Yeah, I know.
You can like many things. You don't have to be put in a box.
Both and, right? That's my favorite phrase. Okay, so let's hear your story. I hear you have a funny story that had to be cleared by my cousin Alex, who must be on the podcast at some point, but he was lazy about scheduling, so you'll be first.
Yeah, just keep harassing him. He likes to be very lazy on the weekends, which I don't blame him. So I'll get him to book a recording with you. I'll bother him.
That'll be great.
Yeah. So shall I begin with my story?
Yeah, tell me.
All right. So if y'all didn't know, there was a pandemic going on, still going on. And Alex and I were, struggling with just like being at home all the time, which I think pretty much everyone could relate to. And this was a little over a year ago. So last August, we were just like really struggling with things to do because living in Chicago, there's bars and restaurants, but not that much nature to check out unless if you drive out of the city, which we could do, but we were looking for, a multi-day escape without taking a flight. So we were researching Chicago escapes out of the city, and we found this place called Beaver Island Retreat, and like literally just looked at a picture of the campsite. It was basically glamping on this island off of Michigan, and we're like, sold, let's do it. So we drove to Charlevoix, Michigan, where we dropped off our car at the little tiny airport to take a puddle jumper to Beaver Island. And so like you could take your car on a ferry to Beaver Island, but basically it's just gravel roads everywhere. Your car gets destroyed. So we scheduled our car rental through Beaver Island Retreat. It was like super casual, not like booking a car rental through Enterprise or anything. Yeah. So Maria, one of the owners of Beaver Island Retreat, said, yeah, like you'll have a Duffy car rental waiting for you at the airport when you land. It like for me being so organized and a planner, it was giving me so much anxiety. Like there's literally no details about
There's
the
no
car.
paper trail.
No, just emails. Like,
yeah, that is stressful.
yeah. So I was like, okay, so there's going to be, a car waiting for us, I guess, at the airport when we land on, after we get dropped off by this puddle jumper. So we just have the phone number of Duffy, the guy who owns Duffy Car Rental on Beaver Island. So when we land, we get our bags and we call this man named Duffy. I'm on the phone with him, but it's like really loud on his end. I'm like trying to listen, to all the details. And he just says like, yeah, just look for a blue SUV. Think he said it was a Chevy, and he said that the car would be unlocked and the keys are inside. So I'm like, okay, we're in the parking lot. We're looking for this blue SUV.
It's very
Chevy.
secure.
Yeah, very secure. Yeah, keys are inside of the car. And we see a blue SUV. It appears to be a Chevy. Car's a little dirty, which is expected. Like all the cars are dirty in the parking lot. Sure enough, car is unlocked and there's keys inside, and the car's pretty good, and we have the directions to go to Beaver Island Retreat. So we basically hop in the car, drive over, and we meet Maria, who's again one of the owners of this place. She greets us and immediately she asks us like, hey, this is a Duffy car rental, right? We're like, yeah, this is in our car.
I know where this is going. You stole a car.
Okay, you're getting to, I guess, the punchline. But yeah, so
you
she's
stole a fucking car.
yeah, so she's looking at it and we're like freaking out because we're like, okay, I think we got the right car. She takes a picture of the car and she texts Duffy, and
because she knows every single car on this island. She's like, that's Randy the baker's car.
Yeah, she didn't know whose car it was exactly, but she was like really skeptical of, what's going on. And she's like, that is not a Duffy rental car, because she said it's like too nice, even though it's like dirty as fuck. And I mean, I guess there was the backup camera, technology in the car, which is, pretty typical in the rental cars you can get here, but still like a little too nice for a Duffy car. So she gets a text back from Duffy and she's like, yeah, that's not a Duffy car. You stole someone's car. And Alex and I, of course, are like freaking out because we committed grand theft auto unintentionally. But Maria was like laughing about it. She said, oh my God, it's like kind of it makes sense why this would happen, because apparently everyone on this island leaves their car unlocked and just leaves their keys in the car. Because I mean, where are you going to go? It's like,
Don't you have pockets?
right? Or like ladies, typically have purses. Yeah, like no, everyone just leaves their car keys in the car, because I guess like where are you going to go with the car? It could be tracked down. You're on this island. But yeah, it's very common for people to leave their keys in the car. So I think where I made my mistake on the phone with Duffy is I think he said Chevy, and I think the car was actually a Chevrolet, which is a different brand. I don't know shit about cars.
Are they? How is that a different brand?
Wait, no, Chrysler.
A Chrysler.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah.
See, I don't know
No,
shit
I don't know.
about
Shit,
cars.
don't talk to me about cars. My car, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I mixed up the car brands or car makers, whatever they're called. And we drove back to the airport. We tell the one person working at this airport what happened. And they're like, okay. They did not freak out about it. They're like, I don't know whose car that is. So we drop off the car where we found it. And then we found our Duffy rental car. Sure enough, it was waiting for us. I just mixed up the car maker, and
Oh my God.
we went back to the island, and all was well the rest of the trip.
That person never knew. They never came
Never
looking.
knew.
They to them that never happened. They're like, what? There's a strange smell in here.
Yeah.
I can smell the city, but
And
oh,
yeah, we changed the radio station, which would probably be the giveaway, but who knows?
I wouldn't notice that. I don't think.
We did notice they're like, wow, there's a lot of like random crap someone left behind, but we're like, oh, it's probably just like Duffy didn't have time to clean the car or something because it's dirty on
Duffy's
the
rental
outside.
car.
There was like a woman's hair clip lying around. So we didn't piece it together until Maria called us the fuck out that we stole someone's car.
That is so funny. I mean, at least you were in a place where it's like, they're just like, oh, lol. I wish you could have met.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet Duffy? I'm curious about this Duffy character.
We did. Like super like rugged guy in his 60s, like big beer belly, like super chill. And so like everyone on the island knows each other. So yeah, he swung by the retreat at one point just to like grab a meal with the people working there, because I guess they're friends. And he was like so unfazed by seeing us, just like, hey, what's up? Like didn't
he thought
even
it was hilarious.
Yeah, everyone thought it was funny, and Alex and I of course were horrified, but no, it's now a funny story that we can look back on and, have a giggle.
That is really funny. And now a word from our sponsors. Welcome back to Wine Dine Caroline's Happy Hour. It's funny you have a car story because I'm having car drama right now. I have a Prius, which is not a very popular car here. And someone stole my catalytic converter.
Oh,
like 3 weeks ago. And I'm like literally trying to deal with, it's like super normal. Apparently they're really easy to steal and it's a thing.
Yeah.
And I know that like some French asshole was looking at Twitter and fucking saw it and was like, oh, there's a Prius in my parking lot. It's like supposed to be a secure parking lot, whatever that means. So it's been in the shop for 3 weeks, and the process, like my insurance company, Massif, if anyone's with Massif, please call them and tell them to fuck themselves. They at no point in time have like called me or given me any instructions or guidance or information. And so basically now I have to file a police report, which I also can't just do. Like I have to like fill out a giant form and then like get an appointment to like report something to the first. So this is my first dealing with the French police too. And so far they're completely pointless and incompetent, which does not surprise me. And yeah, it's a fucking nightmare. So we'll see if the insurance company tries to screw me out of replacing it, or they'll give me like $200 to buy a new car. So,
well, new car part, right? They'll give you the money to replace the part.
We'll see. When that's going to take like a month too.
Oh no.
No. So, and they won't pay for my rental. So I got a rental yesterday, and then I'm an idiot. And I never rent cars. I have a car. I never rent cars. I just like got in the car and drove off. I didn't do the circle of like take pictures of the whole thing and like check every inch of it, which is what you have to do. There's like a huge fucking scrape on the side that was not me, but I have full coverage and shouldn't be a big deal, but it's still just quite stressful. So fuck cars. Um,
I
and
I agree. Like it's
steal
a
them all.
necessity, but
Oh, God.
I'm dreading. So we're talking about buying a car together in the future and I'm excited, but I'm also stressed because like once you buy that car, it immediately depreciates
Yeah.
and like they're so fragile,
Get a used
honestly.
car for sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's no point to buy a new car. Never buy a new car. Get a used car. What's the fucking point? You guys don't have
Right.
a car at all. Does Alex not have a car?
Oh, he
No, he
has a
does. He has a
car, but
shitty car.
you said it.
I've
But
been in
yeah,
that car.
there hasn't been AC in the car since we started dating, and I
Ooh,
was
that
like,
is
"Oh,
not
oh
acceptable.
God. What have I gotten myself into?"
In Chicago too. That is not cool.
Yeah, I bought a little car fan that plugs into the whatchamacallit. Fuck, what's it called? Whatever, like the
The
USB
lighter.
thing. Yeah, the lighter, the car
We
lighter.
we are
It
the like
plugs in there.
literally we are the opposite of Top Gear.
Honestly, I don't know anything about cars. Like
No, it's
when
terrible. We should take a car class. Next time I'm in Chicago, we should find a like garage run by women and take a like car class. They exist.
oh, for real? So we don't get screwed over when we go to the car shop? That sounds
Yeah,
good.
I
Like a good
know.
idea.
I know
Yeah.
there are people that are doing that. I remember reading about a woman who like has a garage and basically like her whole mission in life is like educate women about cars. And we should know about our cars, but we never get taught it and then it just becomes this thing that like we kind of accept that we don't know about. The
Right.
patriarchy.
That's
It's
when I
gross.
call my dad. I'm like, "Yo, what's going on with this car? What do I need to do?" But yeah, I need to educate myself because
I
I can't
know.
be calling my dad,
I mean, I love
into
my
my
dad,
30s.
but I don't think my dad can help me with shit like that. Let's just be honest. You know my dad. There's no way. Sorry, Dad. Oh God. Yeah, it is funny dealing with like insurance and like police and just this car stuff. I'm just like, ugh, this is what having a boyfriend is for. But to be fair, my ex-boyfriend, who also will not listen to this, hated helping me with anything and would have been a nightmare during this whole thing. So actually, I'm probably better off doing it myself.
Oh, what?
I
Okay, yeah.
know.
Dump his ass if he won't help you with
I
the
know,
car.
right? Well, I
So yeah,
did, so it's
done
okay.
and dusted.
It's okay. No, it's funny, but we'll see. So yeah, I have a rental car, but I quite like it. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll be fine. That was a good story. I can't believe you stole a car. That's pretty funny. That must have been, I
Me
can just
neither.
imagine how the fear, but everyone else around you in this like island life, just like not giving a shit. Ooh, okay.
Oh yeah, super super chill people over there, and then you have our anxious city folks, being myself and Alex, coming in like, "Oh my god, we stole a car,"
We stole a car.
and everyone reassured us like, "Yo, it's a funny story. Like, chill."
Not a big deal. Yeah. They probably still tell that story too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Duffy
They
definitely does.
I hope so. Beware of cars that, may look like mine. And they all look alike because they're all fucking dirty because the island just doesn't have any paved roads.
That's funny. I remember once as like a teenager, I was at Wendy's in Colorado and like I just wasn't paying attention and I like got into the passenger seat and just was like talking because I love to talk and I was just like just talking and then like turned to my left and it was not my mom. I was like, I'm not in the right car and they were just like, no, you're not.
Oh my God.
It
That's
was
so
fine.
scary.
No, it was funny. It was a woman. It wasn't some creepy dude or anything, but it was just like totally just like oblivious child like walks into your car like what? So stupid.
I feel like every person has a story like that from their childhood, just like getting in the wrong car
Yeah,
or like
grabbing the
saying,
wrong leg.
yes,
Yeah.
saying mom to the wrong person.
Uh-huh. If
Mom,
you scream
dad.
mom in a supermarket, it's like everyone turns their head. No, I
Yeah.
mean
Who?
I remember grabbing a woman's leg who was not my mom freaking out. And that has happened to me too, where like a kid has like grabbed my leg and looked up and like been like, ah! I'm like, it's okay. I'm not gonna
You're
steal
not
you.
my
You're
mom.
fine. Oh, so now I have to figure out what to pair with this. This is a hard one. Cause I guess there's like, let's see. I mean, there's feelings of like shame, I think. There's some shame in there.
Embarrassment.
Embarrassment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Embarrassment and shame are two sides of the same coin, I think.
Yeah. Shame
Uh
just sounds like
sounds worse.
so much worse.
We need some shame wine. Um and but also frivolity. Like it wasn't actually a big deal because it was just sort of silly, like silliness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet Alex was very stressed though.
Yeah. You know
And
how he gets.
I mean, he's like, he's a good boy. Like he wants to be good. And like, he's not like, and I don't mean, he's not like straight laced at all, but like, he doesn't want to break the law, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
and I think he's scared of getting in trouble. He's gonna kill me.
I'm keeping my mouth kind of shut because if he listens to this, I don't want to get in trouble and your family. So
I can say whatever the fuck
you
I
can
want.
say it.
No, but I can totally see him having a panic attack over this. So what would calm him down? Well, he likes beer. What about, I feel like this calls for one of those like bourbon barrel aged red wines that are on the American market right now that I've never tasted.
Ooh.
That is probably like pretty boozy, really rich and fruity. It has a like bourbon edge and it's like cheap.
I love it. So let me see if it fits into the environment that we were staying in. So we're basically like glamping. We have a fire pit where you could do bonfires every night. Do you see this wine?
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. This is a good, like, because this is something you can pick up and they're not expensive. Like, let me Google it. Let me see. Bourbon aged wine. It's okay to Google your wine, people. Vine Pair is the first article. Bourbon barrel aged wine isn't real wine, and that's okay. You know what? I agree. I have never had it. Yeah, they're like around $20. And they're basically going to be like super like woody and like smoky and vanilla. It's going to mostly taste like wood, which is perfect for the campfire. It's going to be a big, bold red. It's going to be a little sweet. And I think it's going to fuck you up because it's going to be probably pretty high ABV because they're usually things like Zinfandel and like red blends that are mostly Zinfandel probably. But yeah, I think it would probably be pretty good. I mean, you know, it's cheap and cheerful, but I don't know if anyone's making a fancy one. It's possible. I kind of doubt it, but it's definitely a thing. Yeah, I feel like this is the right thing. I've never had it. We need to try it when we're together next time. I don't know when that will be, but
yeah. Are you coming around the holidays?
I don't think I'm coming for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
I know because we'll talk about that afterwards.
Yeah.
Or we can talk about it now. Alden, my big sister, just is moving to London. And so that means that half of our family are going to be in Europe. So I think we're going to have Thanksgiving here this year, which is sad, but because I love Thanksgiving in Chicago, but maybe next year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. You know, why travel all the way here?
Yeah. It's still a thing. And Alden will have like just moved. So I think that's part of it too. She doesn't really want to go back immediately, but it's very exciting. Very happy. Alden will be on the podcast one day, maybe. We'll see.
So fun. Yeah, because she has a house in the Oakland area, I believe, right?
She got a job in London, so she's moving. It's crazy.
Very exciting.
I know, it is really exciting. She'll be a lot closer, which is very exciting.
Yay.
Well, I think I bet Alex would like a bourbon barrel aged red, so you guys should go get one.
We will.
Go get one and tell me what you think about it. But I think that was great. That was a great story. It was so good to talk to
you. This was so much fun. Thank you so much for having me, Caroline.
Yay. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. I know we like to keep these, short and sweet just for your little morning coffee, maybe. I don't know when people listen to this. We'll find out one day when enough people listen that there's information to mine. But thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week. Cheers. Thank you for listening to Wine Dine Caroline's Happy Hour. Wine Dine Caroline's Happy Hour is produced by Paris Underground Radio. For more information about Happy Hour and shows like it, please go to parisundergroundradio.com. To hang out with me more, head to my Facebook group. It is called Good Wine and Good People, and you can find the link to that in the show notes. Cheers.